Welcome back to another episode of the Isn't That Rich podcast. Today, the three of us are going to be talking about the 7 streams of income that can boost your financial health. And who the heck doesn't want that? In today's unpredictable economy, relying on a single source of income can be kind of risky, I think. So I think it's important that we talk about the different types of streams of income and see if one of them is something you want to do. And some of them are pretty hands-off, I'd say. And some of you might be doing them. You not even know you're doing them right now, like having a retirement. So
I've listened to a lot of other podcasts and other financial professionals out there, and they say, you know, working your 9 to 5 and expecting to build wealth off of it isn't going to work any longer. So you have to find other sources of income to really, if your goal is that, like if you want to build a large wealth for generations to come, finding other sources is the way to go. Yeah. So, but if you don't know they exist, then...
And you crack me up, Jill, because I feel like you're always like trying to find a side hustle, trying to find another stream of revenue. And
I love wheeling and dealing.
I feel like that too. I'm like, what's another way I can turn a buck? And
what's my next job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like recommended, like they say to use like all 7 streams of income. Like that's the ideal way, because you never know if one stream's going to get a little bit drier and you may need another stream. You don't want to rely on just one stream because people lose their jobs every day because of the economy or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, think of all the people during COVID that lost their 9 to 5 and how are they creating new sources of income? How are they pivoting to make ends meet? We saw it all the time. And I think that's really where this kind of got the ball rolling, I guess, was during that time.
I think about how much AI has just changed things in the last couple of years, and even in the last couple of weeks that we've learned a few things. But, you know, it's interesting how maybe in the future some of these won't even be relevant, or they'll change, or things have changed over time, how people have made money.
Right.
Well, I think we should just jump in. And the first one is pretty obvious. It's usually where most people start, which is your earned income. So earned income is the most straightforward income stream. And like I said, it's where most of us start. Earned income comes from your job or your business, where you exchange your time and your skills for money. It's the foundation of your financial journey, providing the capital to explore other income streams. So I feel like a lot of times when people are ready to like venture out, you know, they got to have a little bit of money coming in, and that's how you do it. You just do it from your 9 to 5.
Right.
And I think sometimes to me personally, I feel like it's the safest stream.
It feels super safe.
Like if you're wanting to start building other streams, sometimes it's good to have a foundation of earned income and then start to explore, I think, those other ones.
Yeah. Well, I also think where you work sometimes can also add to your foundation of knowledge to move into a different type of business. Like I think about us here in marketing, like we learn so much every day. We learn about finances obviously all the time. So I feel like we're like in a great, you know, position to learn and maybe branch out and do things on our own.
Right. I think having a 9 to 5 and then starting your side hustle or whatever your other source of income, it's important. And then once you build your side hustle up to a level that maybe replaces your current income or comes equal to, then you feel safe enough to either leave that 9 to 5 and pursue that longer, or continue doing both. Like how great would it be to make your side hustle strong enough to match your personal income stream or your earned income?
Yeah.
You know?
And for some people, if you can still work in that job and earn the benefits that are offered at those jobs, like insurance, 401k, and then continue to do your side hustle, if that's something you want to do, I mean, that's awesome. You've doubled your income.
Yeah.
Gosh, would love that.
Yeah.
So what's the next one, guys? Do you have anything else to say about earned income?
I think that one's the most straightforward.
I think a lot of people know about that one.
Work in the 9 to 5.
Get a job.
So the next one's going to be profit income. So profit income is generated by buying or selling goods or services for more than their cost. So this income stream taps into that entrepreneurial spirit, and a lot of people can create value from it. So, you know, at one point, like we started a coffee company, and so we'd buy coffee and we'd up that and sell it.
You turn in a buck.
Profit that way. Yeah, you're turning a buck. And a lot of people have that gifting. They can take something and market it and turn it and brand it and resell it for, maybe double the price. So
I love that. I think of like people who refinish furniture, you see them all the time. I'm always like, man, I would really love to do that. I do not have the skills, or I'm not qualified whatsoever to do that. But refurbishing things that, you find up at an antique store and turning them into something that somebody would want now. There's just different ways to earn that profit from where you purchase something into what the value is now if you make that improvement on it.
I think a lot about Amazon. Obviously, if you know anything about it, that market is so saturated, but a lot of people make profit selling on Amazon, buying stuff from Alibaba or wherever they buy, and they, it's so cheap overseas, and then we get it to America and we put a 10 times sticker on there, and that's how people are making so much money. I mean, it's crazy, and that's not the only business obviously you can make a profit off of, but it's basically turning a buck. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great. Like, if you're doing it smart, you can really turn a buck quickly. But I think the profit income, there is like a lot of traps and risks involved when there's growth, because a lot of times someone may have like an online business or Amazon where they're selling those things, and it's like all profit, very little overhead. But a lot of times businesses maybe will sell a good at an increased rate, but then they have to incorporate now rent and staff and housing and warehousing and all these kinds of things. Sometimes those fees can kind of come in and then kind of diminish that profitability. So it's really important. Like, if you can figure out how to, do it without having so much overhead, that can be a really powerful stream of income.
Yeah.
So, I sell my clothes on Poshmark, and I think that I'm turning a buck, right? I think I'm making a profit, but really I bought those clothes for much more than I'm selling them for. But if I can,
like, it's like the
reverse order, look, I got 30 bucks in my Poshmark account.
It's better than donating it, but
that's probably the 8th income stream, whatever stream. It's like selling stuff and not making a buck, but making some of your money back.
Cheap t-shirts, and they'll do artwork on them or jazz them up and style them and resell them for triple the price. I mean,
our grandson Graham, he goes to old thrift stores, and he'll buy he'll know
that's what I was gonna say,
these shopping. Levi jeans, right? I don't know what Levi's are vintage and whatnot. And so I would go and look at these Levi jeans and think they were worth nothing. And then he goes in and finds them, thrifts them. He'll go to estate sales and find all the goodies there. And then he'll sell them online for like triple the price, or there's a big market for that. I had no idea there was even a market for that. So, I mean, if you are knowledgeable about that stuff, you can definitely, or books. A lot of people go into old bookstores and find these first editions and purchase them and then sell them. There's a huge market for that.
Well, we were just in an antique store yesterday, and there's those little booths, and each booth, they probably got it at like a yard sale or something where they probably didn't pay that much money for the antique, and then maybe looked up online how much it is worth and then selling it that way. I mean, a lot of people's whole business is just antiquing.
Yeah.
So profit income, if you've got a passion for something, you can probably sell it, make a couple dollars. Not on Poshmark. Not like me.
The next source of income is interest income. And we know all about that as a bank. So interest income is like getting paid to sit back and watch your money work for you while your funds grow. So it's passive, it's easy, and it's a great way to boost your financial health.
Yeah. I love interest income. And there's so many different ways to do it. Some are very risk averse, some are very risky. There's so many different ways you can structure your money, places you can put it in to make that interest income.
I mean, just your basic bank account has interest accruing, and you can think about like our Kasasa accounts. I mean, each different Kasasa account from 3% to 2.5%, whichever one you sign up for. I mean, by doing nothing, just keeping your money in an account, you're earning income on that money. I think that's great.
Yeah.
You may have driven by one of our pylon signs that says "Get paid to bank here." That's what we mean by that.
It's true. It's not fraud.
It's not a scam. You really, you earn interest on these accounts that you open up and make money by just having money sit there. So that's, I think pretty great.
Yeah. Think about your CDs. These CDs are huge right now. People are looking for high yield savings account. That's another example of interest bearing account. So there are a lot of them out there.
I think this is so interesting. Jared and we were doing research for this episode. There are some peer-to-peer lending platforms, which is basically like I could get on, I don't know, Lending Club or Prosper, and I can basically put a bid out there saying, yep, I've got the capital for you, Jill. You don't have to go to a bank. Let's see what your credit score is. And then you borrow from me. So it's peer-to-peer lending instead of person to bank lending, which I'm like,
so if you've got extra cash,
I don't know.
You could lend it out to just on this platform.
And so I could earn interest from lending my money out to you.
I gotta cross
my fingers and hope that she'll
risky.
pay me back. It is.
Because you like, I'd be like, why are these people going to this website versus going to a bank?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stigma around banks, though, especially the younger generations. They're like think about the people that are invested in crypto and like finding other ways, maybe they don't trust a bank.
Yeah.
And, even if you think back to older generations where they don't trust the bank, they hoard their cash at home in canisters or, like there's,
Yes.
so we still have a lot of work to do as a financial institution to earn people's trust. Yeah.
If you think about it, like if you invest in the stock market, essentially I'm lending them my money to use for their company to grow it. It's just
That's
at
a really good
very,
point.
very, very small portion.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept.
It's also
not
like
sure
borrowing money from your parents, right?
I know.
Like, pay me back.
I
with
imagine
interest.
it's just like your face is on there, like this is who you're borrowing from today, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be a funny thing.
Because like for me, it's like it's not. I don't understand why people wouldn't trust the bank. It's like why would the bank trust a lot of people?
Right.
Here's
I'm
your
like,
lender, Jared.
just be so
an
skeptical
Instagram
of
model.
everyone. You want a loan? I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you. But people are doing it on
That's fun.
Lending Club.
So yeah, if you need to make some money, lend your money out.
Yeah.
Make some interest. But yeah, lots of ways to do it. Lots of different accounts. I think it's a great, easy way to make money. Probably the most common way that people retire is through interest income. Through their 401ks, retirement accounts, all that jazz.
Yeah, that compounding interest.
That's true. I know. People that kind of live off of CDs and like the interest from that. So people do it every day.
Lots
it's great.
of different avenues. Yeah. So the next one is dividend income. So dividend income comes from owning shares in a company that pays dividends. This stream rewards you for investing in the company's success, providing a regular income based on the company's performance. And so this is I guess it's kind of similar to like interest income, but I was trying to explain to Jared, like if you own McDonald's stock, like some companies pay out these dividends every quarter, I think every month. And so it's not just you fluctuating with the market, earning money, you're actually getting paid out money on a quarterly basis. And you can oftentimes reinvest that money and buy more shares of that company, or you can just take it and profit off of it.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
But not everything.
Not every company
does that.
Does dividends. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm not a financial advisor, but not everyone does. So, but I guess if you are looking into buying certain stock and buying into certain companies, like see if that's an option, because that could be really
And I'm sure there's probably
beneficial.
Websites that have lists of companies that
I'm sure ChatGPT
offer,
could pull something up for you.
All right, next we have rental income.
My favorite kind of
Jill,
income.
would you like to lead that one?
Sure. Well, rental income is, I think, really exciting. It's by renting out your property or assets, you can create a lucrative income stream that keeps the cash flowing. So it's kind of like mailbox money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super passive, kind of.
Kind of passive. It can be. It can be passive. So for me, I earn rental income on our short-term rental. And that has, it can pay for the property's taxes itself. So I don't have to, before when it was just sitting empty, I'd have to come up with that money, from our earned income to pay that. And now it just is a passive source of income where we can at least take care of the property, pay the taxes and insurance, and hopefully earn a little bit of profit off of it.
Yeah. And renting is not going away.
No.
It's not, and property is not going away. I mean, people are always going to go on vacation. Not everyone's going to want to own a home. Not everyone can afford to own a home. We know that. Some people want to rent. I mean, it is such a, gosh, I feel like it's just one of the best ones, just tried and true.
Well, I just think, you know, the amount of, especially short-term rentals. So there's a difference between renting out, you know, month-long or annual terms for your lease, but the really short-term ones become really lucrative because you can charge more per night. I mean, sometimes a property, what it earns in a week can be what, you know,
someone could get at a month.
More than the monthly cost. So, I mean, if you have something that you're doing the short-term rental on, you can really, and you are at like 80% occupancy or 60% occupancy even. That's like a really good occupancy rate is 60%. And so you're earning quite a bit on that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, I don't know, like long-term rentals yesterday and just like, I don't know. I'm wondering how, because I'm getting ready to close on my house. I'm thinking about what my payment's going to be every month with like my taxes and insurance. And I'm like, I kind of don't know right now how long-term rentals are
Making it.
So, but it doesn't mean that they're not making money.
Right.
Or that they can increase their costs and make more money. But
Yeah.
cool.
I guess
Rental rates
the
are going
pro
up.
in the long term is it's like guaranteed, like, you know, they're there.
Yeah.
And they know it should come every month. With short term, there's always a risk of maybe it's seasonally a slow month or something, but yeah.
I want to talk about this too is, you know, rental income doesn't just have to come from property. It can also, well, I'm talking about like brick and mortar store, like a house, you know, but can also come from like equipment rentals. I know my dad, like, he's like, oh yeah, I rented that piece of I guess it is a piece of property technically, you know what I'm saying? But he's like, I rented that tool, or I know like we needed something for my concrete when my house was being built. And he's like, I just went over there and rented it and brought it back. And I actually was in Menards the other day, and you can rent stuff from Menards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're making they own something, and then someone needs it for a day, and they'll pay a pretty penny for
Makes
it because
sense.
they don't want to buy
Rentals.
it. Boat rentals, yeah.
Or like the
Glamping
people,
Tools,
yeah.
glamping tents. Like you can literally
The
rent
sanders
anything.
that people use for like their hardwood floors, like you're not going to buy that. You want to rent that because you're maybe only going to hopefully redo your hardwood floors once.
Yeah. Shampooers for carpets.
exactly.
Yeah, you can rent those at Kroger, I think.
Even furniture. I mean, like rent one. You can.
Or I even think about stuff for our like parties at work that we have, like things we've rented.
You can make. I mean, they
Make some
upcharge
bank.
those a lot.
Buy it once, rent it out for the same price. I mean, or a little less than the
Yeah.
same price you purchased it.
Yeah, I think about our money blower machine, how to rent it from somewhere was like so much money. And when we looked at the price to buy it, it was that amount. We're like, let's just buy it.
Yeah,
Now
it
we
was
own
like
it.
$400
Yeah.
to rent. Where we're like, well, it's $500 to own it.
So-
So
Yeah.
we're going to own it and use it a bunch because we will. We're a
And then
bank.
people can rent it from us.
There you go.
Yeah.
We've had people actually ask to
They've
use
asked
it.
that. They're
Yeah.
like, I'm like,
So-
you can, but you're not using our cash inside of it. That's really what they want.
It does not come with cash.
That's really what they want.
Oh, Jared, do you want to talk about the next one?
So capital gains. Capital gains are profits from selling investments or assets at higher prices than you paid for them. The stream, so basically like selling a property or real estate or something like big of value. I would say it's similar to like profit,
It definitely similar to
but
profit,
it's
but
more property.
I think of like when I hear capital gains, I think of Fixer Upper. I think
Yeah.
of Chip Gaines, and he has a book called Capital Gains. But that's the biggest thing is like people will flip properties and sell them, and then they got to pay capital gains tax.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
like where my mind goes with that. But
Well, think about your grandparents. They purchased, or even your parents, like purchased their property for probably way less than what it's worth today.
Don't we know
and
it?
now it's coming time where they want to either gift that to you or pass on to the next
Yes.
generation. Maybe they're ready to get out of that family home and buy something smaller. Think about the gains that they'll have on that property. I mean, the past 10 years alone, our property
crazy. It's
values
true.
have increased
yeah.
dramatically. So
But there's always a lot of times there's a property gains tax. So you always
Yeah,
have
true.
to be
Heard it
where
was
we,
steep.
we sell the building for profit. You're like, yo, this is great. But then there's always property gains tax. So you always want to like keep that in mind, you know?
yes, I think-
but everything's pretty much taxed.
Yeah,
even-
any kind of this income is
Yeah.
you're going to have to pay taxes on.
Yeah.
You're
any of
never
your
going to be
income.
able to avoid taxes,
yeah.
but sometimes the property, it just hurts a little bit when it's
You're like,
a
this
bigger
is my
property,
money.
you know?
Why
Yeah.
do you need that?
Exactly.
Alrighty. And the last one we have here, number 7, is royalty income. I don't think any of us have it unless you guys have a song that I don't know about that like went viral.
I actually
Jared
have a
did.
number. I have a
Jared
number
has
1 on
royalty.
Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off
Well,
the charts.
I think
but-
about Jared. This could be like your photos. So
Oh.
Jared has a side hustle, takes pictures. He could sell some of those pictures online,
Yeah.
and earn royalties on
I know.
those photos.
Actually, just the other day was like trying to see if I could do that through Canva. I'm like, I really appreciate that, Ashley.
Yeah.
She's like, we're gonna make you money.
I'm going to read the definition for this. So, royalty income is earned from allowing others to use your creative works, like Jared's photos, or intellectual property. If you have a knack for creating valuable content, this stream can provide ongoing revenue. I think about us in marketing. Yeah, like there's lots of websites and lots of different places where you can put your work out there. Like I think of Unsplash is a like a photo website that we can use like well, it's not royalty free photos. Maybe it is. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say though?
Yeah.
Someone's getting paid for those somehow because they took the photos and now they're making them accessible for other people to use for their marketing purposes.
right.
Really cool.
So you have on here, it says like affiliate marketing and stuff. Like, would Like to Know It, you think, fall under that kind of category?
Under royalty income, I don't think so.
It said like YouTube channels or blogs.
Well, I would say definitely.
That's more of like a passive income
Passive
stream, isn't
income,
it? So I think
yeah.
it's more a little different. But I do think
I'm thinking of like music.
Like if you think about,
patents.
I think about Friends. Like I feel like this is the ultimate royalty show, right? So Friends has been around forever, and they're still playing reruns constantly.
Yeah.
So the actors, all of the producers, they all receive royalty fees from those episodes that are still being aired today.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or like even the song Happy Birthday. Oh my gosh, how many times has that been played? And someone wrote that.
Right.
They're rolling in money.
Didn't
Right.
like Kylie Jenner like patent Rise and Shine?
Probably.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
You might be
The
onto
Rise and
something.
Rise and Shine.
She like copyrighted it now, and now I think she can sue you if you sing it.
That, yeah. Oh no.
Kylie's coming at you.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, royalty income. I think that's super cool. Even online courses. Yeah. I mean, that can be sold over and over and over again.
This is something I'm seeing more and more people doing is like you create a product once, like your course, like you have this knowledge and you create videos or a series of videos, and then you sell it quarterly or
Yeah.
annually, and people want to know what you know. Give them a little taste on your podcast, whatever, and then they sell the course to get the whole.
Like Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he's making a lot of his money from
Yeah.
just having that. And
Yeah, my girl Jenna Kutcher does it.
Yeah.
Like she does
No.
it all the time. So yeah.
a lot of times artists will make like coloring books
Yes.
or e-coloring books and selling those on Amazon. And
NFTs
amazing.
were big.
Yes.
I don't know if they're still big anymore, but that was a big deal. People are selling those and earning royalty on those. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like here the tips for building multiple streams of income. So number 1 is diversify. So spread those income sources across different sectors to mitigate risk. It's like, yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's like
That's
you
true.
said, Jared, might not be rowing the boat down one of them someday. And then leveraging your skills, use your existing skills and expertise to create additional income.
Well, I think it's so important to do something you love. And I feel like
Yes.
creating more different streams of income, you can use your skills, the things you're passionate about
Well, yeah, and
for income.
it's like what you said at the beginning. I don't think all of these are like that passive. This isn't a passive income episode. This is just about streams of
Streams, yeah.
income. And so it's like, yeah, it may sound easy. Like I can do all these 7, but they're, to get capital gains to flip a house, I mean, that takes like a lot of sweat and tears, it's,
But I do think it's
And it takes
important
time.
to know, because I think we were looking at these, and the other, besides earned income, the other ones seem a little too intimidating. Like I don't have the money to do that or the skill or blah blah blah. But I honestly think all of these can be done starting small, even with property. Like there are apps, you know, like with the lending, you can be an investor in a development, even if a small fund. So, you know, there may be a multi-million-dollar development. You don't have multi-million dollars to create that yourself entirely, but you can still be part investor in something. So you can start small in all of these areas. And that's really the best way to start, I think, is by starting small and letting it grow. It kind of snowballs
That's
into
a good
it.
point. I think it's so funny because even when you think about buying property, maybe you don't have the income to build something. Well, you see all of these people building these tiny A-frames or even putting, I know there's this app called Hip Camp out there that you can set up a tent and people will come stay in your tent in your backyard. Like you literally can create streams of income for yourself without so much of an investment.
Or like they called like couch surfing. You may know what strangers staying in your house, but I mean,
I was a couch surfer back in the day, so
I'll never forget when she told me that story. I was like, "You were in Alaska with who?"
But hey, if you want to make some extra cash, like rent out your couch.
That's right.
You know?
Well, that's how B&B came to be. It was literally just open up one of your rooms and
You funded it. You funded it, Jill.
Yeah.
You were the first adopter of Airbnb, and now you own one. How cool is that?
Oh,
Love that.
It's a great Airbnb, by the way. It's beautiful.
Another tip would be to invest wisely. Invest in assets that will generate income over time, such as stocks, real estate, or businesses. Wise investments can produce or provide substantial returns with minimal ongoing efforts. Kind of what we just talked about.
Yeah, because
Make wise decisions.
We'll make wise decisions, and it's like not every time, you know, in the year is like the right time to get into a certain type of business or a certain type of income. I don't know. I think about real estate sometimes it's kind of tricky and you can never guess the market. And you can never guess the stock market, but I don't know. History tends to repeat itself. So you kind of just got to brush up on some knowledge.
What did John Forbes tell us? Don't listen to the media when it tells you.
He says go on a 30-day media fast if you're thinking about like investing. He's like, and immediately you'll have like clarity about what to do because the media just wants you to, we know all that.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
But I love what you said too. Like you said, nothing's really truly passive. There's always work involved. But I think a good goal is to get these streams of income as passive as possible. I think earned income obviously is the least passive, unless you're good at delegating. I think that's kind of a good like rule of thumb is like, how can I get this to be as passive as possible? Because I think the trap is that if it's not, it can swallow up all of your time, all of your energy, and then it's not a good stream.
And I think too, like if you get on YouTube and you watch a bunch of videos, they're like, this is how you make this much money, or I made this much money doing this. And it's like, well, how long did that actually take you to do from start to finish? You know, now we just know you're making money you're making royalty income essentially from...
Right.
You're making passive income because you've worked hard on something that now you're making look super easy for people.
Right.
And they watch it. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I can get 7 million followers in a couple of days on YouTube. That's no big deal.
I mean,
well, anything else you guys want to? You probably can, Jared, because you know, you're super famous now.
No. But I think this is so important. This is so good. And really, like the goal should be all 7. Like figure out ways on how you can have 7 streams of income.
Do it. Yeah, even if some of them are at a smaller level, just see if you can maybe hit all of them.
Yeah.
I feel like you're at them. Are you at them or no?
I know.
You don't have a song.
Jill's
I'm not making any royalties right now, so I could work on that. Maybe someday. I have had some capital gains, some rental incomes, dividend. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Maybe
so we just got to get some royalties for her, and she's hit all 7. We're gonna make a song together, all of us.
I heard we were.
A little jingle for the bank. It's gonna go viral.
Oh, I love it. Well, this is encouraging to know that you can earn more kinds of income. So I love chatting about this.
Super encouraging. Well, yeah, I hope you all learned something from this episode and from our little conversation here. We hope you will tune in next week. So Jill, where do we go from here?
Be sure to check out our show notes for this episode, and also be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.